you're born, you go through childhood, you plan, you dream, you go to school, you pick a career 2 or 3 times, and you graduate, you get married, you do your stuff, and you try to get to retirement, and then you have grandkids. And only if you're a grandparent do you understand how that suddenly just can change everything. It's a blessing and a challenge, because it changes you, or at least it can. When you look into the eyes of this little being that represents your whole, it represents you, it represents everything. It makes you realize a lot of different things. First of all, you're an elder. You know, if you're a grandparent, that you can't ignore that. And also, you realize that you would die for this person, this entity, because there's nothing else that's more important. The challenge for we grandparents today is not if we would die for our grandkids, because we sure would. Will we live for them? Because in seeing this new entity makes us see ourselves and all that we have been and become, and see what our lives have been. Just a quick rundown on that. Grandfolks, if you're anywhere close to my age, compared with when we were born, for every person then, there are now 3 in the world today. You know, the world as we know it is simply different. We've used up, we being you and me and our generations, we've used up over half the world's resources. We've used over 80% of the fish stocks. You know all the stats here. Where we came in with clean air, and now the world is under climate change due to pollution that has happened on our watch. And our grandkids are going to have to live with that world, and their questionable grandkids after that. I'm saying this at the time before Christmas, when the pages of everything in the TV are filled with ads about toys, most of them purchased by grandparents. What do we do? What do we give to our grandparents or our grandchildren? What do we do? First of all, answer the questions really. Do we really love them, and will we really die for them? And more importantly, if we will really live for them. And the gift that we can give them, first of all, is just to sit down and really talk with them. Not about necessarily what they're doing and the questions that we're supposed to ask to be a good grandparent. And my goodness, if you're online, you can, how many things about how to be a good grandparent. How about being honest with them and sharing with them our journey of so few years, really, and what a difference that has been, and the challenges that we leave behind. And to sit down and really share with them what they want us to do and how we can do things together for their grandkids. Really share with them and learn to share among ourselves, and to vow with them in a conspiratorial way, maybe, with any luck, to make it fun. How are we going to change the world? How are we going to learn as grandparents to learn with less? Even though the CARP or the crap magazine, whatever it is, ARP or whatever we're getting, is filled with ways to go on a better vacation, how to get cars to get better mileage, and how to keep our portfolios up there, when that kind of thinking kills literally our grandkids. We have to do some counterculture stuff in ways that we were raised a couple generations ago. This is the kind of Christmas gift we can give them, and New Year's resolution that we can make that will actually be a gift and enable us to be a blessing and not a curse in years to come. Let us take a challenge to truly learn to live with joy and celebration with our grandkids. Don't count on the generation in between, though, because they simply aren't going to understand. They're too busy working toward their retirements, even as we did a generation ago. let us claim wisdom, as every old society knew its elders held, but we don't live in that society anymore. So it's got to be something that we do on our own and hopefully with others. Let's talk, let's share, let's learn how to live for tomorrow, live for your grandkids. Amen.